What's going on, guys? Your boy Uchi back in once again, and it's been a while since we've talked about One Piece. As a matter of fact, if I remember correctly, it's actually been several years since I've mentioned anything in regards to myself and the story of, the manga and the anime and just kind of just being more than just the baby fan that I've been referring myself to as. And now that I'm double thinking about it, I did do a few videos in relation to One Piece in regards to like Logan Paul, and we're not going to get into that, and the actress wanting to pass the torch onto a new voice actor or actress to reprise the role or to just play the role of Luffy going forward. If you guys think back to that little phase that I had when I used to do skits, which, not gonna lie, after watching what I had made years ago, I'm just like, damn, that was actually a lot of fun. I don't really know if that's ever gonna be a thing that happens again on this or my video game channel, but it is something that I am constantly thinking about. Nonetheless, we are all gathered here today because One Piece is finally getting its anime reboot on Netflix. Now, I'm not talking about the live action version. I am talking about a whole new anime that is essentially starting from the beginning to, I guess, bring about way more fans and to give new fans the non-excuse of finally starting One Piece. Because after all, the one common denominator across the board when it comes to fans of anime and One Piece and just fans in general of anime that haven't started One Piece is that there's too many episodes. It's just too long. And while that's fair, I mean, listen, I used to be one of those people, but I also be a One Piece hater. And I take full accountability because it's been a long journey in my maturity when it comes to anime and the media that I love to consume. And I've grown a huge respect for Oda-san, and I've made sure that I mention this in just about every One Piece related video that I do. And to put it out there that like I am indeed a baby fan. And what I mean by baby fan is that I have literally only read the first 44 chapters of the manga. So while I don't know a whole lot, I guess this also serves as a disclaimer that the only reason why I'm watching this trailer and doing this type of reaction video is because I am looking to just be amazed by the quality of the animation that I'm imagining we're going to see. I haven't seen this trailer prior to this. I've only just seen like thumbnail images, and that's about it. So I guess I'm going to have to ask y'all this. Is this going to be something that we're going to have to do reactions for? Well, we have at least another half a year or so, or whenever it decides to come out in 2027 to decide, because that is when this anime debuts. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I wonder if they're going to bring that song back, because that song's a banger. Okay, let's go.
Wealth, fame, power.
Damn, this already looks crazy.
The man who attained everything the world had to offer. Gold Roger, king of the pirates. With his dying words,
Damn.
he drove countless souls into the vast sea.
Wow. Wow.
In search of the One Piece, many set sail toward the Grand Line, plunging this world into the Great Pirate Era.
Wow, bro. I know this was just a teaser. February 2027. Okay, wow. So that's give or take like 6 to 7 months.
Got it!
Why are they doing that? I feel like they're doing that on purpose. Yeah, dude, this is phenomenal. I mean, this level of quality, and I guess, I don't know how long they've exactly been working on this project for, but it really just goes to show you when you let animators and the studios behind these shows really cook, this is the type of quality that you're gonna get. I mean, this is perfect. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, every part of this teaser is showcasing literally every bit of detail and how much love went into this reboot. And I'm not gonna lie, like, as a baby One Piece fan, bro, this has me very excited. And a part of me really wants to just dive back into the manga whenever I get a second and to continue with reading the story. And I guess I should also add that after the last session, which was, years ago when I was reading One Piece, I will remind folks that after just reading the first chapter, I completely got it. I completely got and understood why people love One Piece, why they glaze it so much, and why it is, of course, to this day, one of the most popular animes in history. I mean, that's not debatable, okay? Like, that's just not debatable. Listen, real recognizes real. One Piece is the shit, okay? I'm just gonna say it. As somebody that has literally no idea what else I could be getting myself into, just when you factor the ratio of where I'm at versus where the story is still going, because Oda-san, he's not done telling the story. It pales in comparison. Like, there really is no comparison. I am a very, very new fan, even though it's been several years that I've read the manga, picked up the chapters, but I will admit though, it does seem a little overwhelming sometimes, only because of how much story there is to dive in. Aside with all the excuses though, there's always ways to just do it, When it comes to the anime, if you're gonna watch the original, at this point in 2026, there are literally probably several guides to avoid fillers. There's summary videos. There's, I'm sure, a bunch of content creators that have covered this show in its totality up to a certain point, I'd imagine. And then, of course, the manga. There's always the manga. If you're a purist at its purest form, then you're just gonna read it anyway. So just start it, man. Just start it. And the reason why I guess at this point, I almost sound like I'm trying to convince people into getting into One Piece, or to at least start it, is because from what I've read, okay, and I've only read a little bit, if you like wholesome content, if you like stuff that will hit you in the heartstrings when you don't really expect it, and if you want stories that are pretty relatable and you can almost see certain things that come from it and connect it to maybe certain things that are happening to you, I think it's a fair shake that you should absolutely get into One Piece. And I mean, I'm sure, people can be like, oh, but that's a lot of animes. Well, yeah, of course it is, but it's how you deliver it. It's how you deliver the messages, and sometimes, depending on who's the writer and, what the show is and its themes, everybody does it differently. And it's always nice to get a lot of the same that you would get, especially from these shonen types of series, in different ways. It's like, if you're a fan of candy, then I'm sure you're not just gonna stick to just eating Starburst. You're probably gonna want your Skittles, you're probably gonna want your Sour Patch, or whatever the hell else you'll wanna give yourself cavities from. As a baby fan, bro, I'm actually really happy, and I'm excited for, One Piece fans that are, of course, like huge fans that have been following this ever since the beginning, that they now have something to like really look forward to. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, I can only imagine what people were reacting to, or how they were reacting to just seeing how beautiful this looked. Like, I can only compare this to the Final Fantasy VII Revelation trailer that just recently dropped, and I had just beat the original game, Final Fantasy VII, on the PlayStation 1, and so seeing the upgrades in just the graphics on a lot of the different areas that I had just finished going through on a PS5, like in modern time, it broke me. Like, I literally was crying, bro. Like, I was speechless. I feel like that is what One Piece fans for many years probably reacted when they saw this. And another thing that I enjoy is seeing other people happy. I think that it's one of the greatest things in life. And, sometimes you can't just always be about you. And as someone, like I keep saying, that is not the biggest fan of One Piece, but I could definitely say I'm a enthusiast, I'm an appreciator, I'm somebody that recognizes like how important this show is. I am looking forward to diving more into it as time goes on. But I guess the last thing I should actually ask you guys is this. Should I just, at my earliest convenience, continue where I left off, chapter 44 of One Piece, or should I wait for this reboot to come through next year? I leave that completely up to you, and I guess we'll see how you guys respond and if that's actually a thing that y'all are gonna want to see on this channel. Because right now, while a lot of you might know me for my Dragon Ball reactions or just my Dragon Ball content in general, this channel has kind of evolved into being something more in line with what I would like it to be, which is a channel that's a home base for the things that I really have an interest for and some sort of love for at the same time. And of course, Dragon Ball is one of them. I've had videos where I did reactions to Pokemon. I've even done stuff with Naruto as well. With One Piece, that could end up being one of those other things that get added to the menu, if you will, for this channel. And then, of course, I'm doing stuff for Marvel. It's like, bro, Spider-Man's coming up pretty soon. X-Men 97 season 2 is about to literally come out just around the corner. And I've actually been doing videos with my fiance just kind of talking about some of these things. It almost feels like we're doing like a little mini podcast of sorts. I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't want to just pigeonhole myself into doing like one thing, but I would really like and appreciate any sort of feedback to seeing if it's even worth adding more to the probably already oversaturated One Piece type of content, and if that's something that would interest existing One Piece fans to see the perspective and the reactions of, you know, someone that's never seen what actually ends up happening throughout the story of One Piece. So as always, guys, make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves and love what you love. Gang gang.